Welcome back to the Mental Money Podcast. My name is Rossi. I'm going to try and bang out this video as fast as I can just because it's super late and I've got therapy in the goddamn morning at about 12:30. So I do have to be up for that, unfortunately, but I wanted to bang out this video because I've been feeling a little bit lazy today. It's day 5 of the withdrawal. I'm getting through it. Well, it's day 6 now of the withdrawal from quetiapine. I'll make another video on that. Don't worry, I've been lazy. This is another episode of Stories I Wouldn't Want My Kids to Know, episode 2. And we're going to start off with one of my bigger downfalls, let's say. One of my bigger mess ups, so to speak. So, let me set the scene again. I was young, 17, actually no, I was about 18, going out, usual, smoking a bit of weed. I was into drinking, I was into taking a bit of MD at the time. And there was this big party for a guy that I won't mention the name, but he's a mate of mine now, and he's a guy who saved my life. We were going to his party, and it was at his parents' place. Everyone was really happy to go to this party. It seemed like a big thing, so I was like, yeah, I'll come. I'm turning up with my girlfriend at the time, now my ex-girlfriend, turning up with her. That's the first party I was taking her to, so I wanted it to be like a good party to take her to. And I thought, do you know what, this is going to be a really good night. This is going to be a good experience just to show my girlfriend to my friends and let them try and get along. So I turn up, they're asking me how they get there and stuff, so I help them on the way. We're all walking there, I walk with them in, and it's this like big mill building, and we walk in, everyone's fine, everything's normal. There's about maybe 20 people there. And of those 20 people, I knew probably 12, I'm going to say 12 or more. So we're all mingling, getting along. The party's starting to get into action. I pull out this bottle of vodka that I was on for the night. I start hitting it really hard because that's what I was known for at the time. I wasn't too big into the other stuff at the time. I was more big into my drinking and smoking a bit of weed. So I'm drinking a lot of vodka, chilling with my girlfriend, sitting down on the couch. Everything is going fine, swimmingly, absolutely swimming. And then I finish my liter, and I'm like, okay, I'm at a decent level here. I'm chilling. There's this balcony outside. It's an apartment. So there's this balcony overlooking like Manchester skyline, which was pretty impressive. We chilled out there most of the night. One of my friends goes, oh, do you want some MD? And I'm like, hell yeah. And she's like, oh, are you drunk? And this is one of my really good friends at the time. She's like, are you drunk? And I'm like, no. I was absolutely blitzed. Let's not even lie about that. I was absolutely blitzed. And so I completely lied. I said, no. She says, okay, you can have a little bit, but be careful. This is the most power MDMA I've ever took in my life. So I went, yeah, I handle my stuff. She went, honestly, just take a little bit. So I wet up my finger. I get the bag like this, and I go scoop a massive, nasty one around my finger, and I lick it all off, and then I go in. And 3. So I did 3. I did 3 dabs, and I was like, oh, I'm good. Passed it back to her, smoked a bit more weed, and I go back inside. I'm starting to like feel a bit tingly, like you would on a come up, but I'm super drunk at the same time. And then one of my best friends comes up to me, and I'm like already starting to like not be able to see straight. I thought he passed me like this full pint of Pepsi, and I was like, oh, safe. Kind of maybe must have had my eyes closed. Took it, started downing it, and he was like, whoa. I was like, just kept down it. He was like, yo, you're a mad lad. And then I downed the whole thing. He's like, oh, you're crazy. And I was like, why? And he goes, that was just pure vodka. I was like, oh, it'll be fine. It'll be chilling. Forgetting that I'd just done a load of MDMA. And I'm already drunk off a litre of vodka anyway. So I'm like, oh, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. I'll sit out. I sit on the couch and I start coming up. And it feels really, really fucking weird. Do you know what I mean? Like, I start feeling really, really strange. So I'm sat on this couch, just having conversations with people. And then I just feel like shuddery. So I get up. And then someone looks at me, like, and then sees the way I stumble. And basically what happened is these people aren't used to seeing me in a fucked up state by that point. They know me for handling my shit. So they look at me, I stumble once, and everyone kind of goes like that and looks at me and goes, are you okay? And I'm like, then I just like stumble even more in like the middle of these people. And it became so dramatic. But fair enough though. Like, it became dramatic because then my body just completely gave up. I just like completely paralyzed. Get dragged into the bathroom. I'm trying to like puke into the toilet. My eyes start rolling back into my skull. And I can talk about this comfortably because I've talked about it so many times, and it's just an experience, you know. This was like the first of many. But this is probably one of the closer experiences to death that I've ever had with drugs and alcohol. So my head's over the bowl of the toilet. I'm trying to throw up. I can't because I have this thing where I just can't throw up. So I start heaving on my own vomit. And I start choking, and people are like, yo, we really need to call an ambulance. Like, I was in a bad state. Like, so I was heaving on my sick. The guys whose party it was, he comes in, shoves his hand down my throat, and I thank him so much for this because no one else wanted to do it. Shoves his hand down my throat. I end up throwing up maybe 2 times into the toilet bowl, and it was just pure black. It was just completely black, or like discolored, nasty. And then I kind of like flop back. So my head's near the toilet, and basically I'm like this, like that. And people like trying to hold my head back and stuff, and my eyes were just rolling back in my skull. I couldn't see anything. I was completely like paralyzed. All I could see is 4 circular lights and just a bunch of voices muffled. And people were trying to pass me water, but my arm just kept flopping. And they tried like passing me water, and I just kept spilling it on myself. And it was crazy. It was the closest I've ever really been with drugs and alcohol to death. But people were like, we need to call an ambulance. One of my mates said, nah, give it 15 minutes and he'll be fine. And if he's not, we'll call an ambulance. So they're feeding me water, got my head over the bowl. I heave a few more times, get a bit more up. And then at some point, I remember like how my eyes were rolled back into my skull. They kind of just like, I felt that motion of them coming back. And then I opened my eyes, and I'm like looking at all these like my best mates around me. I'm like, what the fuck? I couldn't like really move my body properly. I felt horrible. I felt like I was at death's door still. And I tried getting up, and everyone's like, no, don't get up. I'm like, no, I have to. So I stumble out of the bathroom, sit back down on the couch. I'm swearing to everyone that I'm fine. I'm like, yo, it's cool, I'm fine. And then I remember I puke in this guy's like cup like twice. And I'm like, I felt so bad about the whole situation. I felt like a burden on everyone. I felt actually horrible about it because I don't want to be a burden on someone, and I don't want to ruin people's night. I just wanted to. I was being a complete fool, and I realised it afterwards. I was just being irresponsible, and I was being stupid. I was just trying to push limits. I just took it way too far, and that nearly cost me my life. And after that, my girlfriend was super annoyed at me. She was like, I can't believe this, because I swore to her that I wasn't going to do that night, like MD and stuff. I said to her, look, I'm not going to do it. I lied to her, I lied to my mates, I lied to other people, and I still feel bad about it. I shouldn't have put people through that, and that is my bad. That's my mistake, and I have to live with that, and I nearly died for that. And it was just stupid. It was very dumb, but it's an experience that I had that kind of I can look back on and grow from. So after that, I call my dad up. I'm like in a bad state. I leave the party. My girlfriend's left. She's pissed off. Everyone else is like, like, are you sure you're okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. When I really wasn't, because obviously. So I call my dad up. I'm like, yo, I need to come home. So he picks me up. He's like, oh, have you drank a bit too much? I'm like, yeah, that's it. And then I stay up the whole night, like in this room. I stay up the whole night. I had work in the morning as well. This was the worst bit. Stayed up, had a bath, got in my work uniform. I had to get a train to work. And then I worked the whole day. I threw up 8 times in work. They wouldn't send me home, even though that was like part of the rules. If you're not fit to work, they have to kind of send you home, but they said, nah, you're working. And I nearly lost my job as well that day. So all round, very stupid decisions made by me. I was young and I was reckless. I was very stupid, but I persevered through, and thankfully I'm still here. Thankfully I've still got my health abiding by me. I've made much better choices since then, and I'm on a much better track. I do again say that by no means do I recommend go out and do what I do, because what I did back in the past, no one should do. No one should do. And you shouldn't have to put people through what they would go through if you did. So that's my story for the night. Thank you again so much for listening. I'm hopefully going to keep on track of these, and hopefully they're really good stories for you to listen to, and maybe you think, God, this guy's a fucking retard. Well, I can't say that. He's a fucking idiot. Do you know what I mean? And you're right, I am. But yeah, I think they're pretty good stories to tell. I wouldn't want my kids to know this, because we like to give off the appearance that we're mature now and we don't make those kind of mistakes, but apparently people do. So, you know, I'll leave all social links in the description as usual. Don't even worry about that. Could do with some more support on the Facebook page. Thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to subscribe and join the mental family. Hit that bell icon while you're at it as well. You'll get notifications whenever I post a new video. That's sweet. You'll also get a fucking notification whenever I go for a piss. Not so sweet. But yeah, you guys will see me in the next video.